Welcome back to my channel Constitution of India. In this video, we will see the third module of the subject, and these are the contents: the Union Executive, the President, the Vice President, the Council of Ministers, the Prime Minister, Attorney General function, the Parliament composition, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, qualification and disqualification of membership, functions of Parliament, Union Judiciary, the Supreme Court, jurisdiction, appeal by special leave. We all know that the executive committee of the government has the sole authority and responsibility for the daily administration of the state bureaucracy. The Executive Committee executes and enforces law as written by the legislature and interpreted by the judiciary. The Union Executive consists of President, the Vice President, and the Council of Ministers, with the Prime Minister as the head to aid and advise the President. And as we know, the President of India enjoys a unique position in Indian Constitution. And the President is the first citizen of India and is a symbol of solidarity, unity, and integrity of the nation. There is no direct election for Indian President. An electoral college elects him. The electoral college is responsible for President's election, comprises elected members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, the legislative assemblies of the state. Their legislative council have no role, and the legislative assemblies of the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry, and these are defined in Article 54. Once a president is elected, he holds office for 5 years. He sits in the office even after the completion of 5 years, given if no new election has taken place or no new president has been elected till then. The existing president can also be re-elected, which is defined in Article 56. Now here you can see some pictures of former presidents and the current president. This is Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, and this is the 10th president of India, K.R. Narayanan, who is Keralite by birth, and this is our present president, Ramnath Kovind, who is the 14th president of India. Next, we will see the qualification of the president. A candidate has to meet some qualification to be elected as a president. Those qualifications of the president, as explained in Article 58, are: he should be an Indian citizen, his age should be a minimum of 35 years, he should qualify for elections as a member of parliament, and he should not hold any office of profit under the central government, state government, or any public authority. Next, what are the functions of President of India? Now, the President of India has got certain privileges and immunities as per Article 361. There's something like: the President is not answerable to any court for his powers and duties. No criminal proceedings shall be filed against him. No arrest or imprisonment during his term of office is possible, or no civil proceedings shall be filed against him. These are some privileges held by the President of India. Along with that, he has certain powers and functions in Indian Constitution. The first one is the executive power. For every executive action that Indian government takes, it is to be taken in the name of President. He may or may not make rules to simplify the transaction of business of the central government. He appoints the following people like Attorney General of India, Controller and Auditor General of India, Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners, Chairman and members of Union Public Service Commission, state governors, Finance Commission of India chairman and its members. He has a right to seek administrative information from the union government and the state. He also holds the supreme command of Indian Defence Force and has the power of declaring war or concluding peace. He also has the power to appoint national commissions of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, interstate council, administrators of union territories. He also has a right to declare any area as a scheduled area and has powers with respect to the administration of the scheduled areas and tribal areas. Next, we will see the legislative powers of President. He is the one who addresses the Indian Parliament at the commencement of the first session after every general election. He summons or prorogues Parliament and dissolves the House of People. According to Article 85(1), the President shall for time to time summon each House of the Parliament to meet at such time and place as he thinks it is fit to be. But there should not be a gap of more than 6 months between the meetings. Summons means to start a meeting. At the same time, he can put an end to the session also. Proroguing is the end of session, but it is not the dissolution of the House. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house and hence there is no dissolution of Rajya Sabha, though term for Rajya Sabha members is fixed for 6 years. The Lok Sabha may dissolve at the end of its 5 years or by an order of the President. The third point is he summons a joint sitting of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in case of deadlock. Now, an ordinary bill can become law only after being passed by the both houses of the parliament and finally it goes to the president for his signature. First, actually the process is something like this. First bill will be introduced and passed by the Lok Sabha and will be sent to Rajya Sabha. In case Rajya Sabha rejects a bill passed by Lok Sabha and returns it with or without some amendments, the Lok Sabha reconsiders it. If Lok Sabha repasses it and the Rajya Sabha is still not prepared to pass it, a deadlock occurs. If this deadlock remains unsolved for 6 months, the President summons a joint sitting of two houses and the decision of this sitting is accepted by both the houses. He appoints the Speaker, Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha and Chairman, the Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha when the seats fall vacant. He can also nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. He can also nominate 2 members to Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community. He consults the Election Commission of India on questions of disqualification of MPs. He recommends or permits the introduction of certain types of bills. No bill can become law unless and until assented by the President. He promulgates ordinance. This is the most important legislative power of the President. Recently, it was in news that the President of India gave assent to the government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Act 2021, which enhances the powers of Lieutenant Governor and limits the elected government's power in Delhi. Next, he lays the following reports before the Parliament, that is Controller and Auditor General reports, Union Public Service Commission reports, Finance Commission reports, etc. Next is the financial powers of the President. To introduce a money bill, his prior recommendation is a must. Then he causes union budget to be laid before the parliament. To make a demand for grants, his recommendation is a prerequisite, and the contingency fund of India is under his control. Actually, a contingency fund is a fund for emergency or fund for some unexpected outflow, and he constitutes the finance commission every 5 years. Next is the judicial powers of president. Appointment of chief justice and Supreme Court or High Court judges are vested upon the president. He takes the advice from the Supreme Court, however, the advice is not binding on him. He has pardoning power. Under Article 72 defines the power of president to grant pardons, reprieves, etc. for offences in certain cases. A pardon is an act of grace and cannot be claimed as a right. A pardon becomes effective only after the grantee has performed certain acts, like if the accused has undergone the punishment for any offense against the union law, or he has been punished by a military court, or he has been sentenced to death. In these cases only he is eligible for getting pardon from the president. The diplomatic powers of the president. International treaties and agreements that are approved by the parliament are negotiated and concluded in his name. He is a representative of India in international forums on and affairs. Military powers of president. He is a commander of the Defence Force of India. He appoints Chief of Army, Chief of Navy, Chief of the Air Force. Emergency powers of president. As per Article 352, 356 and 360, the President is empowered to make a proclamation of national or state emergency and financial emergency. Next, the impeachment of a President. The only condition for the initiation of impeachment of the President is a violation of the Constitution. So how this takes place is Lok Sabha initiates an impeachment charge. Lok Sabha passes the impeachment charge with two-thirds majority and sends to Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha investigates the charge. Rajya Sabha agrees to the charge and passes it with two-thirds majority, and the president stands removed. Next, the Vice President. The Vice President of India is the second highest constitutional office in the country. He serves for a 5-year term but can continue to be in office irrespective of the expiry of the term until the successor assumes office. He must be a citizen of India. He must not be less than 35 years of age. He must have all qualifications which are necessary for becoming a member of Rajya Sabha. He must not hold any office of profit under any government. He must not be a member of either house of the parliament or of any state legislature. Vice President performs a dual role as a Vice President and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The Vice President is not a member of the Rajya Sabha, yet he acts as its Chairman. He conducts the business of the House and maintains discipline and decorum in the House. He has the power to take action against those who violate the rules of Rajya Sabha. The Vice President has no right to vote as he is not a member of the Rajya Sabha. However, as its chairman, he can give a casting vote in case of tie. The Vice President also acts for the President when the office of President is vacant. Next is the Council of Ministers. Article 74 mentioned that Council will be headed by the Prime Minister of India and will aid and advise the President. Article 75 mentions the following things. They are appointed by the President on the advice of the Prime Minister. They, along with the Prime Minister of India, form 15% of the total strength of the lower house. A minister ceases to exist if he is not a member of either house of the parliament for 6 consecutive months. Parliament decides the salary and allowances of the Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. And there are different types of ministers like cabinet minister. He is a senior most minister and he participates in every meeting of the cabinet. Minister of State with independent charge. He is a minister of state who does not work under a cabinet minister. He himself is in charge of his ministry. When any matter concerning his department is on the agenda of the cabinet, he is invited to attend the meeting. Right now, Mr. Prahlad Singh Patel is a Ministry of Culture who is holding the independent charge of this portfolio. That means he is responsible for this portfolio. Next is a Minister of State. He is a minister who does not have independent charge of any department and works under a cabinet minister. The work to such minister is allotted by his cabinet minister. Deputy Minister. He is a minister who works under a cabinet minister or a minister of state with independent charge. His work is allotted by the minister under whom he is working. And these are the powers of Council of Minister. Formulation of policy. They will take part in formulating the policies of Indian government, administering and maintaining public order, to aid and advise the President, and the execution of laws and decisions passed by the Union government is supported by the Council of Ministers. Next comes the Prime Minister. The President of India appoints a person as a Prime Minister who is either the leader of the party which holds a majority of seats in the Lok Sabha or is a person who is able to win the confidence of Lok Sabha by gaining the support of other political parties. Prime Minister of India serves the country by following various functions and he performs its function taking responsibility as the leader of the country. That means Prime Minister of India is the head of Government of India. Next one is a portfolio allocation. The Prime Minister has the authority to assign portfolios to the ministers. Then he is the chairman of the cabinet. Being the chairman of the cabinet, he presides the meeting of the cabinet. He can impose his decision if there is a crucial opinion among the members. And also, he is the official representative of the country. Prime Minister represents the country for high-level international meetings. And Prime Minister is a link between the President and the Cabinet. He communicates all decisions of the Cabinet to the President, which is related to the administration of the affairs of Union and proposals for legislation. And Prime Minister is the head of Nuclear Command Authority, Niti Aayog, Appointment Committee of the Cabinet, Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Space and Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pension. And also he acts as the chief advisor to the President. To become an Indian Prime Minister, one has to be a citizen of India, a member of either Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, and he should have completed his 30 years if he is a member of Rajya Sabha or can be 25 years of age if he is a member of the Lok Sabha. And that's the end of Module 3, Part A, and thank you.